Good day. Work today. Still a lot of details to clean up when you have a team that does so much on the other side. So they really present some tough challenges that we had to be prepared for. But our guys have had a good week of practice so far.
Right, Zach.
Dante talked yesterday about this team needing to have blinders on throughout the season, not just this week, but all season. How have you seen this team react to that, and especially the young guys that are getting a lot of success early on?
Yeah, I think they've done a good job of I'm saying, hey, this is the standard. This is what we expect us to do in certain moments, and knowing that we're basing it off of what not the result, but what the process should look like.
Got a left here.
Talked a bit in the offseason about younger players, first and second year guys having leadership opportunities this year. I'm wondering with just DeCorian in particular, what kind of stands out from that part of his game?
Just the improvement, right? I think one of the best ways you can lead is continue to grow, and he's gotten better and better, and he's growing a voice. He feels very comfortable speaking in front of the team, saying what he sees, and I think his play is speaking for itself. As long as that continues to improve and grow like it has, it's going to make a huge impact.
One right here.
I asked you last week about Gary Bryant, so I want to ask you the same question about Malik. So, as the senior presence, what he's brought to the team, has he been instrumental in one helping Dante grow and maybe young players like DeCorian?
Yeah, I said it to Malik the other day, man. He's just, you recognize him as a really good teammate, right? You see a guy down, he's over there, he's going to make sure he gets him up. You see a guy on the ground, he's going to help him up off the ground. If he's going to be one of those guys that, regardless of who scores the touchdown, if it's him or somebody else, I mean, he's celebrating it like he just scored. So it's just, he's a selfless person. He's a really dynamic player for us. It's been nice to have on this team.
On the left, John.
Mentioned that's going to be difficult to stop just the different options that they present on offense. What goes particularly into trying to stay disciplined with your safeties and linebackers when they do all the RPOs and stuff that they have in offense?
Yeah, similar to what I said early in the week, that you got to farm your land. You have to do your job. Trust the guy next to you to do his, and then rally to the ball when it is decided where that ball's going.
On the right, Zach.
You don't usually let true freshmen talk to media members, but DeCorian's talking to us later today. What is it about him that gives you the confidence to have him be one of the many faces of this team?
I just think that we have some guys that are in roles where they're helping us early, and want to give those guys an opportunity.
Front left, James.
Where have you seen the greatest amount of growth in DeCorian, Dan? Even going back to the spring when he first got here.
Probably just more than anything, the way he deals with adversity, right? You come in and you expect yourself to have a lot of success. And he's done a great job of handling success. I think it's hard when things don't go right, and how he's handled those moments in practice, how he's continued to grow. I think that's huge. And there's a lot of pressure on a guy like him and his status. There's a lot of eyes, and he's been able to handle that pressure really well.
On the left, Eric.
A lot of talk about Fernando being somebody you faced previously, but Roman Hemby at Maryland, a guy you played last year, kind of what stands out about him and his kind of role in that run game?
Yeah, they're. I think everybody thinks RPO and they think about the passes. They don't realize that they're a really explosive run team. Those guys have good quickness. They hit the hole, get vertical quickly, and that's certainly what sets everything else up in the run game. Is the run first, right? Sets up the RPOs and makes people have a loaded box. So they've done a really good job running the ball this year. Well over 200 yards rushing a game, which is impressive.
Back left, Aaron.
You mentioned last week, just with the bye, being able to really self-scout and then have a chance to kind of put some wrinkles in your tendencies that you have when you're preparing for a team that also had the same opportunity to kind of take the bye, change some things. How important will in-game adjustments be when you do see maybe something that you haven't seen on film from earlier this season?
Yeah, there'll certainly be something different, right, in this game, and you don't know exactly what that'll be. So, our coaches have done a really good job throughout games this season of IDing the different looks and how we can best defend or best attack on offense, and that'll be a big piece of this game for sure.
On the left here, John.
The receiver Surratt for them has been really good at the catch point, especially on the outside. How does that present a challenge for you guys in the secondary and your cornerbacks?
Yeah, the 50-50 balls can't be 50-50 balls, right? We have to be able to go compete for those and win on defense, and vice versa, same thing on offense. When you get one-on-one, you have to be able to take advantage of it. So they've done a really good job, when they have one-on-one coverage, taking advantage of those guys. And they have big catch radiuses, and they attack the ball.
Back right, Brett.
Coach, yesterday Dante talked a lot about how much, every win means to him and the amount of work that he puts in. When you see the level of emotion that he put into that weekend win against Penn State. What sort of impact does that have on the rest of the players, and especially some of the younger players, to show that the hard work he is putting in pays off, and to see that level of emotion?
Yeah, I think it's more that. I think it's more about the hard work, right? And they realize hard work works, right? There's no secret sauce, right? If you're willing to put in the effort and the time, and you have the talent, right, it'll pay off. And he's been a great example of that.
Right here on the right.
We talked earlier this week just about how these freshman corners have been able to come in and be so successful, but Kennedy's come in just from the portal and been just phenomenal early. What's made him so successful just personally, and then as how he's worked with the secondary?
Yeah, he works really hard, right? And that's a common theme with our players. When your best players are some of your hardest workers, that's something that separates it. And then I think Jaden has an unbelievable football IQ, just natural instincts, ability. You talk about football instincts. He's a guy that has great football instincts. He can feel routes. He understands where the quarterback's working. He plays with great speed and physicality. Those things all really, really matter at that position.
James.
For all of DeCorian's physical gifts and talents, when was it clear to you guys that the mental side was there to where he could be an immediate contributor from the jump?
Yeah, I mean, every single person's different, but the amount of plays and load that we put on these guys mentally, I think can be really taxing. And I feel like our playbook's as open as it's ever been based on those guys being out there on the field and learning your job. So that's just a great example. Some guys, they come in and they learn packages and you build it up. He's a guy that's been able to handle it all, throw the kitchen sink at him, and mentally handle what we're asking him to do.